In August 1977, a nationally known horse trader was found shot to death along a rural road in Northern California. Nearly 20 years later, a southern Idaho farmer was gunned down inside his house. And a man is found shot to death in South Africa. This story is international, baby.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Can we get Pitbull in here? All right, everyone, welcome back to the Lethal Library. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Dani.
And we're here with yet another story of true crime out of Idaho and South Africa and California.
Just saying.
We are covering some mileage in this one, clearly. Yeah, I'm very interested to know.
I couldn't believe I did not know about this one. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Here we go.
Is there like a dateline or anything on it?
Not that I could find.
Because this just sounds wild just from that very brief intro of like, what's happening?
Exclusively here on the Lethal Library.
We think. Maybe. Who knows?
Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see in my research because, I'm doing the digging deep in the newspapers. But I do just do a Google search on not only the criminal, but also the victims, just to see if I can dig up anything else.
Right.
And, mostly I come up with some court cases and stuff, but nothing was, and so occasionally, very rarely, other podcasts because of how we're so just sitting right here. But no, nothing else.
So maybe an exclusive, folks. I'm excited.
I'm just saying this would make a great Dateline.
Really?
Yeah.
Dateline, tune in. We might send this to Keith Morrison.
Personally. Anyway.
Because Keith is my favorite. They're all great.
Hands down.
No one does interviews like Keith Morrison. No one.
No.
He is so slyly passive aggressive.
Really?
And yet, may I even say like a smidge cunty. Like,
I love it. It's like, you're not fucking lying to me.
Where a lot of times people don't even realize that he's being facetious. And they're like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, tell me how that would work. Like, oh, he's so good. Gosh, bless him. Love
Someday,
you.
if I
Love
ever
you,
grow
Keith.
up, just saying, right? And his voice.
You can't beat it.
No.
And I love that he loves the SNL skits of him and that he's a good sport about it. Oh, that's terrible. And then she was dismembered. Oh, no, that's awful. Like, everything about Keith Morrison.
Big fan.
Huge, huge fan.
Sources used today for this episode are the Times News, Idaho Statesman, that bitch, the Modesto Bee, the Sacramento Bee, Galt Herald, and Times Herald.
Wowie, wow. You really had to get into it for this.
I was searching other states because I had
kidding.
to.
And South Africa, apparently.
I will say, disappointingly, they must not have been recording the newspapers in South Africa because I could not find anything in
Any local stuff?
Yeah, nothing local stuff. So this is all stuff coming back. Fed through some of these other newspapers in California, Nevada, and Idaho. So
Hell yeah. I'm very curious on this one.
let's go. On the morning of August 20th, 1977, deputies in San Joaquin County, California, were called to a rural stretch of Jahant Road, just off Lower Sacramento Road, north of the small farming community of Acampo. My apologies if I say any of these things wrong.
We're doing our best.
I'm going to be judgy McJudgy because if I listen to a podcast about someplace in Idaho and I know how it's supposed to be pronounced, or Oregon, I'm like, dude, look it up. And I did not look it up. So I'm just saying, fair to judge me. I'm going to do the best I can.
We will try. And can I also just tell you, since we are on the Keith Morrison kick, he did one of the Dateline originals. It's like a 5 or 6 episode one about a gal that she went and recorded for a Kid Rock music video and then was like murdered in a parking lot. It's called like The Girl in the Blue Mustang or something. Of course, it's great. You know, Keith Morrison's on it, but he says, Kid Rock, known for his hit Bawitaba. I lost it, and I listen in my car, and it became my vocal stem of like Bawitaba. It was just how he said it. And imagine Keith Morrison, Bawitaba. Like, it was just fucking priceless. So, and I'm sure that some people were like mad about it, but I was like, he can say it however he wants to say it. Well, I don't give a shit.
Keith Morrison.
It's Keith Morrison.
Humble Dani. If I fuck it up, I'm apologizing in advance.
Right.
I did not look up every word of this. So
well, and sometimes you get like you try to look up how it's pronounced, and you still get 4 answers. And
and there's going to be a name in here that I'm not going to be able to say, and I'm going to have Stephanie look at it. I still will not be able to say it.
We can promise you we'll do our best, and we try, and we are open. If you know, you can tell us.
Yeah. Open to criticism here. Probably will fail. So we are outside of the farming community of Acampo.
Jeez, that sounds right. I like it.
Lying on the side of the road was the body of a man who had been shot repeatedly. He had no wallet, no cash, and no identification. Authorities named him as a John Doe.
Mm-hmm.
Detectives quickly concluded the man had not been killed where he was found.
Oh.
The initial examination showed he had been shot multiple times at close range with a small caliber weapon, and the scene itself had little evidence. There were no identifying papers, no vehicle nearby, and no witnesses.
That's a tough one.
By Sunday, August 21st, nearly simultaneous phone calls came in to the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department. One came from the motel staff in Lodi, California. Another came from Missouri. The calls identified the man as George Douglas Stone, age 33, a nationally known Appaloosa horse dealer and a showman who had traveled to California to attend a colt auction in the rural town of Harold. George had flown into California from Kansas City earlier that week and had been staying at the Lodi Motel while visiting horse ranches in the Sacramento Valley. That's quite a jaunt.
No shit. And can I say it first? I thought you said a cult auction, and I was like, what, like the occult or like a cult, like an actual cult? And then my brain was like, hello, Stephanie. He's a horse trader. A cult.
A cult.
COLT. Anyway, so
it's because your brain's very Mercury thinking.
I'm like, oh, it's a cult.
Ooh, he's going to an occult auction?
Oh, they have
Fair.
those. What are we auctioning? Fair. Anyway, get with it, Steph.
George was well known in the Appaloosa world. Deputies described him as one of the best in the business. A trader whose reputation carried weight far beyond California, he dealt almost exclusively in Appaloosas, buying, training, boarding, and selling horses for clients across the country. Probably clients with money, too.
Oh, yeah. Horses, big money.
People who knew him said his success depended on trust. Deals were often made by word of mouth, not by written contracts. And in my research, it said that they didn't do big contracts. It was a lot of cash transactions because back in the day, this is the 70s, you weren't verifying funds. So people didn't want to write checks and then have to wait for the transaction. Like if you're going to an auction and you want to buy a horse, you want to take it home. You don't want to, hook up 2 weeks later after the check is cleared.
Yeah.
And also don't know if I would want to write a check without taking home the product, the horse, right? So can you imagine? No. So a lot of cash dealings with a lot of these guys. Yeah. George had been reported missing by his fiancée and business partner, Dixie Nipker, after he failed to return to Kansas City as scheduled. Dixie told investigators she became alarmed when George never called after arriving in California and then missed his return flight.
And that's tough to even find out anything in like the 70s. There's no cell phones. You might be able to be like, hey, here's my hotel room number. You can call there. But then if they're not there, I mean, he's there wheeling and dealing. He's doing business. So there's just no way to quickly check in.
In fact, people didn't reserve a lot. You just showed up and got a room.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it was.
That's how it went, yeah.
Around the same time, staff at the Royal Host Inn in Lodi told deputies one of their guests, matching the description of the unidentified body, had not been seen since Friday night. With George identified, detectives began reconstructing his final days. George had arrived in California on Thursday, August 18th, 1977. He flew into the Sacramento airport, and this is classic, but he was unable to rent a car because he insisted on paying cash.
Oh.
Well, if you think back in the 70s, not everybody had credit cards, right? Rental agencies required a credit card, something George avoided. He was a cash guy.
Old school.
So he contacted Ronald Kavanaugh, a Herald auctioneer who was staging the Saturday Appaloosa Colt horse.
Thank you, Jamie.
Colt sale. George had planned to attend that weekend. Ronald drove George from the airport and took him to a motel in Lodi for the night. It's like, I got you. Let's get you settled in. And obviously these guys knew each other. You know, I'm sure this horse business was probably pretty inclusive.
You got connections, yeah.
On Friday, August 19th, George visited the Ronald Ranch and inspected 2 colts he intended to buy. He then traveled to several other horse ranches in the area. That evening, he met with 2 friends from Bakersfield for dinner in Lodi. Afterward, he returned to his motel room around 9 p.m. And the Bakersfield couple retired to another room in the same motel. So, dinner out Friday night. Thanks, it was good. Got the big auction tomorrow. Gonna head to bed.
Standard, yeah.
Right, gotta go to bed. Sometime within the next 3.5 hours, George was murdered. His body was discovered just after midnight Saturday morning along Jahant Road, across the county line in San Joaquin County. He had been shot 6 times.
Ooh.
4 bullets to the head and 2 to the body with a .22 caliber firearm.
Full overkill.
Way excessive. When deputies searched George's body, like I said earlier, they didn't find any wallet, no cash, no identification. Investigators soon learned that George was known for carrying large amounts of cash.
Oh, I bet. That doesn't surprise me.
According to multiple reports, he'd arrived in California with at least $3,500. Detectives determined later that he had been carrying as much as $10,500.
Oh, damn.
The night he disappeared. Friends told authorities George had recently completed a deal after arriving in California that netted him another $7,000 in cash, which is how we get to over 10 grand. And this is in 77.
Yeah.
Like,
big money.
I should have done the math on that, but it would be in today's money.
Let's look.
Okay, let's do it. Looked it up. Are you ready?
Yes.
$56,000.
Imagine carrying that much money.
I would.
That's terrifying.
I want security.
Just walking around.
Okay.
Not for me. Can I tell you that once my sister used to work in a bank, and one time it was like, bring your daughter to work, but obviously she was younger, so she's like, I'll bring my little sister to work. And they let me go into the big safe and like count a bunch of money, like put it through the money counters. And everyone was like, isn't this fun? And I was not having fun. I didn't like outwardly show it, but I was just holding that much money. I was like, it just felt like, I know it sounds so irrational. What if I accidentally steal $1,000? Like, it was so, I would never do that. But I was like, what if something happens and they think I stole money? Like, I shouldn't be around this. It just felt so wrong to me. I'd never handled that much money in my life. So thinking about carrying $56,000 or whatever it was in cash, that terrifies me. Ooh, no.
No, thank you.
Not for me.
George was not wealthy, but he liked to flash money when he had it. A Missouri friend told detectives he sometimes paid for a cup of coffee with $100 bill.
Oh, and that's big stuff.
Yeah.
That's like $1, less than $1.
No, it's like 50 cents,
Yeah.
probably 25 cents. And he's like, I'm going to need some change.
And you're just pissing people off.
I know, the
You're
waitress
thinking,
is like,
all my money. I'm going to have to go to the bank and cash this out.
robbery was quickly determined to be the leading motive.
No shit.
As deputies expanded their search, a farmer made a significant discovery.
Oh.
On a remote site between Galt and Rancho Seco near Harold, the farmer found George's bloody hat and several empty shell casings. Detectives determined this was likely the actual murder site. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
And for the record, I just had to repeat that sentence like 4 fucking times because I couldn't say shell casings. I was not doing
She
well.
wasn't pleased about it. That might
Look
come
for
out.
the outtakes on
Maybe
TikTok.
the bloopers. That'd be a good one. She was staring at the camera like it was the camera's fault. And I was like,
It was somebody's fault. It wasn't mine.
yeah, who's responsible for this?
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was fucking funny.
By Monday, August 22nd, detectives publicly said they were focusing on the missing cash, but they also acknowledged another possibility. Investigators had received information that George may have been warned to stay out of California from possible issues with a past horse deal.
I can imagine this being very soap opera-ish.
They said they were not discounting the possibility that the killing was connected to a dispute rather than a random robbery.
Someone may have had it out for him.
Look, I'm just saying, George was going to bed. He was done for the night. He's traveled. He went and did his business. He was businessing on Friday, visited all these ranches, had dinner with some friends, probably a couple of drinks, and went to bed. Why did he leave his hotel room? What would draw him out after 9 o'clock at night when he had his big colt auction the next day? That was just for you.
And he's a businessman, it sounds like. He's in it to win it. He's doing all the things. He's not going to miss it.
No, he's not going to miss it. He's not leaving his hotel room for just no reason. After 9 o'clock, I turn into a fucking pumpkin. Even if I have nothing to do the next day. So
She's being generous. It's really big. She'll allow it occasionally 9 p.m.
like, I just respect
And that's
the sleep.
okay. And it's good for me because I just want to stay up forever and then I hate myself the next morning. So I benefit from this.
I cut stuff off.
It's good.
I literally, she'll be
Someone
standing,
has to be the adult in the room, and it's Danny.
she'll literally be standing in my kitchen and I'll be like, go to bed, bye.
Yeah. And she's gone.
And I
You
leave
won't
her.
see her.
No, done. So, no, there was something that drew George out.
Yeah. What could it be?
George's clothing was eventually identified based on descriptions from people who saw him last. Like I said, he was last seen alive Friday night. George was wearing jeans, a Western shirt, Western boots, and a Western-style hat.
No surprise. Very,
Very
Western.
When his body was found, the boots and hat were missing. So that's where the
Right.
farmer
Found the hat.
Yeah.
Were his boots found as well? Or maybe
Yes, they
stole-
were.
Okay. I was like, he probably
No,
were
the
really-
boots were found there too. It just, I didn't write it
Why
down.
don't they take his boots off?
That is weird, actually. I haven't thought about that. The hat's easy.
Yeah, fell off. I mean, poor guy was shot 4 times in the head.
I don't know where he's, but I would.
Maybe they were thinking of where to dump him and thought like, maybe they thought they were going to strip him all the way.
That's what I'm thinking. They probably thought he was going to strip him all the way. I was like, no.
Right.
For several weeks, detectives worked without a named suspect. Sergeant Joseph Gomes of San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department told reporters the robbery motive remained the strongest angle, but no arrests were pending.
Yeah, this is a tough one. There's just not a lot of...
No.
Because, I mean, obviously, this is way before DNA anyway, but when you have someone that's
There's
shot
no
out in the middle of nowhere, there's no
cameras, no cell
witnesses,
phones, there's no internet.
no hotel lobby gal that's like, oh, so-and-so asked where his room was or whatever. There's just
nothing.
yikes.
That's why people be getting away with shit in the 70s.
Oh,
and
they
80s.
were getting away with it.
There's no ring cams.
How it's all... There's a lot of reasons why Creech got away with everything, but F word. Why did I... Fuck.
Get a girl.
Who am I censoring for?
Because if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
On October 4th, 1977, so it was about 6 weeks later, sheriff's deputies arrested Jimmie Vurel Thomas,
Fucking Jimmy.
age 34, at his ranch in Harold. Thomas was charged with the murder of George Stone. Deputies executed an all-day search warrant at the ranch, collecting evidence.
Ranches are usually huge, too.
I know.
Outbuildings.
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
Just, yeah.
Thomas was a horse trader himself. Like George, he dealt in Appaloosa horses. He bought, trained, boarded, and transported horses across the country. According to Detective Wayne Brunmeyer, Thomas projected an image of wealth and status. So I just want to make this little correlation here. George was very flashy, and so was this guy. And I bet you there was some ego involved in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, they're in the big leagues for their industry.
Mm-hmm.
And ego's a big part of it.
And that persona. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you're dealing with selling and trading of anything, if you're like the wheeling and dealing guy, you want to project success. You're not going to show up there, in slumpy work jeans and be like, yeah, I know a lot about horses. No, they're doing up the dues. They want to look good. And so both of these guys feel like there was a little maybe competition beyond,
Right.
just like I'm better than you kind of thing. So
I can see that.
Thomas owned fancy vehicles and had an elaborate tractor trailer set up to haul horses.
And that's where a lot of people don't know the money that goes into like big equipment and farming equipment. This stuff is not cheap.
And also, if you're spending several thousands of dollars, I mean, on a thing, a horse or a thing, to have it show up in a fancy horse trailer, or to have somebody come and buy something from you and they have like a fancy truck, you're like, oh, this guy's legit. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it was very much part of the sales. Like, oh yeah, I found the perfect horse for you. Oh, by the way, look at my getup. I'm legit.
Yes.
It legitimizes.
It's a way to, it's more of like how people think of quiet luxury today. Like the whole like rural farming communities, there's different signs and statuses of wealth that
Absolutely.
most people wouldn't understand. But if you're in there, you're like, oh shit, he's got one of them.
Yes. But prosecutors later said Thomas was deeply in debt.
Ooh.
Thomas was arraigned on a murder charge in Lodi Municipal Court. The San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office announced it was considering seeking the death penalty.
Ruh-roh.
This is California, so California had just recently reinstated capital punishment. And this would be one of the first cases tried under the new law, which allowed the death penalty when a murder occurred during a robbery.
Oh, okay.
So this is where they reinstated it. And California's been back and forth. I don't know the whole history about that, but I know they've had it, not had it, had it, not had it. So we all know how the death penalty has worked out for the state of Idaho. Sad.
An absolute shit show.
Investigators alleged Thomas and George had done business together shortly before his death. According to prosecutors, Thomas had written George a bad check for $7,500 in the past.
Yikes.
And on August 19th, Thomas was supposed to meet George again. I'm assuming to fix his little problem.
Whoopsie, his little mistake.
His little bad check problem.
And now that we know how much $10,000 was, like 7 was probably like, what, 30, 40,000?
Yeah. And that would be a reason to draw George out of his hotel room after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, let me go get my money.
I'm definitely getting up. You want to meet at 3 a.m.? Little sketch, but I'm coming to get my money.
Yeah.
Or you come to me. I would, yeah, no. Okay, I'd probably say no at 3 a.m. because then I know I'd be probably getting murdered because I do this too much.
You know, yeah.
If you know, you know.
We know a thing or two about
Yeah.
a thing or two.
But he wanted his money, and so...
He's like, yeah, give me my money.
According to Deputy District Attorney Michael Babitsky, I love that last name.
That's
Babitsky,
cute.
Thomas's teenage son told investigators that Thomas's pistol had been in his truck until shortly before he left to meet George. The boy said George had called the house, and Thomas told his son he was going to meet him. And that same day, George had just sold a horse and was carrying that extra $7,000 in cash.
Right.
Bank records showed a $7,000 deposit was later made into Thomas's account.
Honey, why are we putting it in the bank? Why aren't we just using cash? Using the cash?
Because they didn't have fucking Dateline back then.
Right. Who's going to know this isn't suspicious?
Don't be suspicious. Thomas initially denied ever owning a gun like the murder weapon. Investigators later proved
That was a lie.
Thank you. Yes.
It's like the Maury show. I love that shit. Maury, another legend. Another absolute legend.
I love him.
Bring it back. Remember when you would have a sick day and you get to watch all the trashy TV shows and stuff?
Or
What a
you
time.
stayed up late and watched Jerry Springer.
Oh, and you weren't supposed to.
So good. Those were the days.
So good.
The case against Thomas was largely circumstantial, but expansive.
I bet.
Detectives had more than 2,500 pages of evidence.
They were detectiving.
They even drained a lake searching for the murder weapon, but never found it.
They drained it. Wow.
I couldn't find any more. Just listen to this. They did locate a similar pistol with the next consecutive serial number. You know what I'm thinking? That somebody didn't write the serial number down right when they were registering.
Because what a coinky dink is that? That's,
At one point, sheriff's deputies even consulted a psychic because that was a thing.
That has happened in recent cases.
Really? No shit?
It was a Dateline one where, and I think it was like 90s or early 2000s where they were like, they're at such a dead end. They're like, what if this could be the thing that leads us to
I
a
guess
piece
it
of
doesn't
evidence?
hurt.
Yeah.
Even though they consulted that psychic, none of that information, of course, was used in court. And I really don't see no harm in it as long as they're not out, you know. They can't use it in court. But what if?
What if it led you to something tangible that you could use?
No harm, no foul.
Just a lot of times the families will get them too.
In March 1978, the trial started. It lasted 13 weeks.
No shit.
And I'm telling you, kids, 13 weeks. And there is no like cell phone evidence, no video evidence, no.
That's what I'm saying. The 2,500 pages of evidence. And especially back then, a lot of detectives weren't detectiving. They're like, if I don't have a smoking gun, if
Doesn't fall in my lap.
if I can't, get something that, like the easiest case, they're like, well, what do I do?
Just think about the modern day cases that are tried right now. How much time is spent on cell phone evidence, video evidence,
DNA experts.
Yeah.
They
had none of this shit. None of
No
it.
fucking way. Yeah. So
13 weeks.
So I'm like,
Well, this is. They called 147 witnesses.
oh shit.
Because that's all you had back in the day.
Well, and I'm sorry, that's tough on a jury. Like, that's a lot of, if I'm thinking if I'm on the jury, that's a lot. They better all be relevant and serve some purpose. That's
It is. Babitsky said the possibility of the death penalty had a chilling effect on witnesses. Every witness was that much more circumspect in terms of what they would say on the stand, he said. That was a big word for me. Thank you.
Love it.
Critical portions of Thomas's statements to investigators were ruled inadmissible by the trial judge, and other pieces of the prosecution's case weakened under cross-examination. A friend who had previously told police Thomas admitted killing George changed his testimony on the stand, saying investigators misunderstood him.
That's so
Even
frustrating.
Thomas's son altered his testimony.
Don't love that.
And Thomas did not testify, which you shouldn't. Shut the fuck up.
It is like, it's just never a good idea.
After nearly 2 days of deliberation, the jury reported it was hopelessly deadlocked. The split was 7-5 for acquittal.
Wow.
On 2 days,
They should have...
go back.
13 weeks of... No, there's no... How did you guys go over all the...
Maybe they should make a rule like for every week of testimony, you have to
at least
deliberate a
for
day.
this much time. Which is what makes me wonder, were they just putting in a bunch of stuff that wasn't relevant? That they...
The thing is that what I think the difficult thing is it was very circumstantial. And
So they were trying to...
there was no,
sway
like...
the witnesses.
There was literally no smoking gun because that... And even if that gun had matched the serial number, what does that mean? He could have said he lost it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they probably didn't do the gunshot, like, comparisons back then, did they?
I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
They might have. I didn't see that in any of my reporting. On April 15th, 1978, the judge declared a mistrial. The district attorney announced the charge would be dismissed without prejudice, allowing the case to be refiled if new evidence was found. The cost of the trial had drained the office's budget for the year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because, listen, I'm going to tell you, because witnesses were scattered all across the Western United States.
Yeah.
They had to bring them in because this horse industry, they were bringing in people to testify. So people all over the Western United States.
And how long does it take for the prosecutors? If they're 13 weeks and there's so many other crimes and everything, and they've basically blown their budget on this, that's crazy.
The judge did not want a retrial, and the district attorney declined to refile, but the case was never closed. Decades later, Babitsky would call it the only felony case he ever lost. It's always kind of been the one that got away, he said. Brunmeyer said Thomas's name resurfaced repeatedly over the years when other agencies called asking about him. Thomas continued life, doing life. Late on the night of October 13th, 1996, Michael Phillips was at home in Kimberly, Idaho, when his doorbell rang just after 11
PM?
nighttime.
Who is absolutely not?
When Michael opened the door, he found Jimmie Thomas standing outside,
Fucking Jimmie.
pointing a 9mm semi-automatic handgun directly at him. Thomas told him he wanted to come inside to talk, and Michael complied. Yeah, he had a gun. Yeah, come on in. What do you do?
Yeah.
Is this a choice?
This is where someone comes knocking at my door 11 p.m. I'm not trying to victim blame here. And it was more normal for people to stop by unannounced back in the day. People were always doing that. Like,
There's no texting.
yeah, I was in the neighborhood.
But 11, a quarter after 11?
Yeah, like thinking if it's an emergency, but listen up. I'm peeking. Who is it? I'm getting prepared. I'm looking at what the nearest weapon is to me.
I'm dead asleep. Nothing's waking me up.
One time Zach came in late. I was like in the kitchen. It was dark. I had all the lights off. I was just like filling up my water bottle or something, get ready to go back go back to bed. And we weren't expecting Zach to be back that night. And the door opens and I didn't have my glasses on. And I'm blind
Me
without
too.
my glasses. I hit the fucking floor. I'm crouched. And I'm like, I gotta get to the knife drawer. Because I thought someone was coming into our house. Like, I could not see. No, it was Zach. And he started talking, like, oh, Nike. And I was like, well, thank God. But no, it just, when you go into that fight or flight and you're like, you think it can't happen to you. And then when it does, you're like, oh, shit. I'm going to have to cut someone. Good thing he started talking. And I was like, Zach. Your heart is beating, the adrenaline's. I'm like, I'm not gonna get to sleep now. I'm gonna be up for 2 hours because I thought that I was just gonna have to stab someone.
My home kitchen.
Yes.
God damn. Once inside the house, Thomas kept the gun visible. The conversation centered immediately on Anna Marie Thomas,
Who's that?
Thomas's ex-wife and Michael's current girlfriend.
Oh gosh, the drama.
Thomas told Michael that his relationship with her had ruined Thomas's life,
Wow. Okay.
and he wanted Phillips to stay away from Anna Marie. Thomas then told Michael, mind you, gun out, to write a letter to Anna Marie that said Michael would never see her again.
This is weird behavior. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard shit like this before, but this is just like, this is straight out of the soap opera. Wow.
You will write this letter and you will not see my ex-wife ever again.
Obsessed much?
While Michael was writing the letter, Thomas paced, argued with him, and repeatedly returned to the subject of Anna Marie. Obsessed.
And this is, I cannot imagine being in his shoes of like, yes, I'm writing it. Cool, dude. I know you're mad.
I
Yes.
hate your fucking guts. Like, what is he supposed to say? Like,
And you're going to do it. I mean, yeah. What are you going to say? No, I'm writing her a letter telling her how much I love her. Like, no, you're like, yeah, absolutely, dude.
okay.
You
I
bet.
fucking hate you. Never want to see you again. You're a horrible person.
And that someone is pacing around and still agitated like that, that's terrifying.
At one point, Thomas placed the gun in his back pocket. Michael believed the situation might de-escalate.
Hoping.
But it didn't.
Of course it didn't, because he is out of his mind.
After about 30 to 45 minutes, Thomas told Michael to get into his vehicle and drive him to the Traveler's Oasis near the Interstate 84.
Good old I-84.
The Oasis, you've been there, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's pretty. Look, it was pretty unique back when they actually had, before they rebuilt it, and they had the actual, like, little tree and the waterfall.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
Don't
Now
shame
it's all fancy, and you can go in and order like 5 fast food restaurants, and it's
Right.
all like touch. And no, this was like, it was like an Amazon forest, like an oasis, and you went there and sat, and it was grungy but fun. And they had all kinds of knickknacks. I'm gonna have to find you pictures. I'm pretty sure that now you have me thinking that I don't know the right place.
No, I think that you're right.
Okay. When they arrived at the truck stop, Thomas pulled the gun again. Michael thought Thomas was going to kill him, so he tried to get the gun. I was like, all right. Well, I played your game.
Well,
now
what
I'm
do
getting
they say? Don't ever go to a
the second location.
So you're like, things are getting dire here. And you've probably been trying to think of trying to find opportunities the whole time. Like, I can picture myself in a situation like this. Of if you see that they're not looking at the gun and they've set it down, of like, do I go for, like, so you're trying to find a thing that's, I'm in a very bad situation, and if I can get a chance, I have to take that chance. So he must have saw a chance and said, absolutely not.
Gotta go. As the two struggled inside the vehicle, Michael managed to wrestle the handgun away and escape.
Oh my gosh. How stressful is that?
But after all that, because, you never, is it loaded? Is it not loaded?
Mm-hmm.
The weapon contained a chambered round and 8 additional bullets in the magazine.
It was ready to go.
He wasn't fucking around. He was serious. Write the fucking letter. Take me to the Oasis.
Yeah, safety probably wasn't on.
Michael ran for help and then contacted the police. Kimberly officers obtained a warrant for Thomas with a $20,000 bond.
Damn.
And Thomas was not immediately located. He remained at large for more than a week before he was arrested.
Shit.
Prosecutors initially charged him with aggravated assault with a firearm enhancement and second-degree kidnapping. In April 1997, prosecutors dropped the assault charge and added the firearm enhancement to the kidnapping charge, increasing the potential sentence to 25 years plus 15 more years for the use of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at 40 years now. They're like, oh, wait, let's take a look at these charges. Let's just minus this, add this.
Yeah.
Perfection. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yikes.
The case went to trial in May 1997 in Twin Falls County. District Judge Roger Burdick presided over the 2-day trial. A jury found Thomas guilty of second-degree kidnapping at gunpoint. Immediately after the verdict, Twin Falls County Prosecutor Grant Loeb argued that Thomas should be remanded into custody. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Loeb told the court Thomas had no stable assets in the United States, had extensive international travel, and posed a flight risk. Thomas was briefly jailed following the conviction.
Briefly?
2 days later, during a post-conviction bond hearing, Thomas and his defense attorney claimed Thomas was suffering from serious medical conditions, including a hernia and gout, and that jail officials were not providing proper treatment.
This reminds me of the proper medication for the persistent constipation.
Mm-hmm. This was a hernia and gout. I thought gout was from drinking. How was he drinking in prison? Am I wrong?
Or maybe diabetes. I don't know. It's a nasty business.
Thomas was brought into the courtroom in a wheelchair, claiming he couldn't walk. The court allowed him to be released while the matter was considered further.
Don't they chain you to the bed and have an officer there? And
do you remember we've done some cases where they release them until their sentencing?
Ugh. And it's just
doesn't make sense.
And listen, you'd be stupid not to try to do something. This is your one chance. What's easier, a jail escape or you've escaped jail legally?
You're just out.
Especially how easy it was to become hidden before big internet and cameras everywhere. Disappear into another country, another state even.
And he had international ties.
Yeah, he's a traveling guy.
Over the objection of Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office, Judge Burdick ultimately reduced Thomas's bond because he was on a $20,000 bond. In December, the bond was lowered to $7,500 cash. Anna Marie posted the bond.
Of course she did.
Thomas was released from custody while awaiting sentencing.
If you're already guilty, why would you ever be let out?
But he kidnapped her boyfriend. But I will say that there is some I read a little bit about the reason that they divorced was for financial reasons, which knowing Thomas's background with the debt and all that stuff, he probably divorced her so she could keep the house or whatever. And then she's probably like, shush, 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 shush. And that's maybe why he was pissed. I mean, this was never, this is a lot of assuming.
And context is important.
So I kind of feel like Thomas was like, that's my money that you have. You should. And I don't know much about Anna Marie other than her boyfriends. Maybe that's what happened. I'm just saying, for me currently, would not be posting bond for an ex that held my.
Absolutely not.
That was not a good decision.
No.
Thomas never returned for sentencing.
Shocker. What a shocker. You'd honestly be stupid to not try to escape. This is your one chance.
Especially with international ties.
Yeah.
When Thomas failed to appear for his sentencing hearing, a warrant was issued. Investigators quickly determined Thomas had left the country.
Why weren't they watching this before? Like, I know I'm
going to say this later, so let me just say that. It's going to repeat itself. So, what happened is they did do their due diligence and made him turn in his passport.
Mm-hmm.
But what they didn't know is that Thomas had reported his passport stolen and got another one.
Oh, so he's like, sure, have this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys. You know I'm good for it.
Yeah.
Hold on to my passport. He's like, can't wait for my duplicate to come in.
Exactly.
Wow.
Within weeks of his release, Thomas had purchased multiple firearms despite being legally prohibited from possessing them.
Remix.
Don't take that out. So he went, and I don't know if I wrote this, I just know the story, so I'm going to tell you. So he went into the Hunter's store or something. It was some ridiculous name. And he bought 6 guns with a bad check. I don't know. I might repeat myself.
He's got a way. He's got a brand.
He's got a way. Anyway, yeah. So he's like, look, I'm gonna need a little money.
He's doing it big.
He's like,
go big or go home.
And
he's not going home to the jailhouse.
No, he's not. Law enforcement, and he lied. God, I can't remember if I write this down or not. He lied on the firearms firm. He gave a different date of birth, and
in the checks and balances, I mean, we still don't have really great ones here, but they were not as good as they were there.
No. He used a different, I think, social. There was several things he did to
get these fraudulently.
Yeah. Thank you for filling out the form wrong, right? Mm-hmm. Law enforcement began tracking his movements across state lines and national lines. By the time authorities confirmed his whereabouts, Thomas was overseas.
Long gone.
By early June, law enforcement confirmed that Thomas entered South Africa on June 1st, 1997. At the time of his release, the court had been told Thomas's passport had been confiscated. Investigators later determined that Thomas possessed a second passport. He had obtained a replacement passport by claiming his original had been lost.
And there wasn't really ways to flag like there is now, where it will automatically set off alarm bells.
No. Twin Falls County Sheriff Wayne Towsley and Prosecutor Grant Loeb both said they had warned the court Thomas was a flight risk. Told you.
The big told you so. Yeah.
Did we not?
We gave you all the reasons why this is a terrible idea.
Citing his frequent travel to South Africa, his experience with firearms, and his access to international contacts.
He's got friends all over the world.
In low places.
Certainly does. Yeah, you played yourselves.
Mm-hmm. And Towsley's like, hello, I told you this was going to fucking happen. I'd be so pissed.
And this is pre 9/11 is why this is so...
I would be... Can you imagine that prosecutor going okay, now we got this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is gone. We're never going to get him back. But I fucking told you this is...
And to a judge, too. Would you expect a judge to have some, what is it, discernment?
A little bit.
Hello? Isn't that your whole job?
No. Oh, he has some gout. Go get that hernia. Go get that taken care of. Fuck you.
They can still get health care.
Yeah. But I'm telling you that defense attorney was defensing because he was like, they're not taking care of him. And he went in there he was fucking such an actor. He rolled into there with a fucking wheelchair, pretending like he couldn't even walk. Yeah, because of his fucking gout.
It looks like he walked and ran just fine.
Yeah. Thomas told court officials during bond proceedings that he was involved in hunting safaris and business ventures in South Africa. Like, Thomas said this.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah,
we're
that's
not
me.
making this up.
That's me. He testified that he had contacts through game hunting operations and claimed partial ownership in a game farm and a tire business in South Africa.
Yeah, he's Mr. Worldwide.
Investigators had raised concerns that Thomas could finance, travel, and evade authorities through firearm sales overseas, where weapons were significantly higher prices due to embargoes.
So he's basically like, I'm getting my fucking guns.
Got my six guns.
This is going to be my money when I get there. Because pre 9/11, you could probably have it in your carry-on. They're like, don't take it out in the plane. I don't remember. I was younger. I didn't travel a whole lot pre 9/11, but yeah, the security was not securitying.
Not like now.
No. You could just walk up with your family member that's leaving and sit at the gate with them. Cannot do that now.
No.
If you don't have a flight, you're not in here.
Yeah.
And was there even like, how much were they even, were they checking people at all? I don't remember there being a TSA.
It wasn't TSA. You had to go through.
Like a metal detector maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. You still had to do some stuff. But not like now.
No.
Shoes off, jacket off. Computers open.
Can I just say, can they please get on the same page, all the TSAs? Some places it's like, if you don't take out your fucking laptop, you may as well be Al Qaeda. Mm-hmm. And some other places, you go to start taking out your laptop and they're like, we didn't say to do that. Why would you do? And it's like, I was trying to just be a good girl. I was trying to make sure I was prepared and you didn't have to yell at me and I be the one that's holding up. I don't want to be the one holding up the line. I'm trying to get an A+ at getting through TSA is my goal.
I'm being proactive.
I want to be your best student today.
Yeah.
Why are you yelling at me? And if it's not a big deal, then why do they act like my laptop's a bomb in every other airport?
Yeah.
Why is it's not a big deal here? Sometimes they're like, don't take off your shoes and belt. Why the fuck would you do that?
Exactly.
Because I feel like I'm gonna have an AK-47 at my head in other airports if I don't.
Right.
Like, why do you have to like? I'm the weird one. You're being weird. You're being weird.
Can I just say something? I'm going to be Judgy McJudger.
Oh, what'd I do?
No, not for you. Just in general. I don't know if you do this. I'm going to judge you. People who do not wear shoes with socks at the airport when they know that they have to take off their shoes going.
It is weird.
Grosses me the fuck out. You're going through the scanner. You know how many other gross feeties have been on the scanner?
And foot funguses.
It's
you
a
don't
thing.
want that.
No.
You don't want that.
There's a reason they have shower shoes in prison.
Mm-hmm. It's very important.
Do you see how I brought that back? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank
Full
you.
circle.
Thank you. Cheers.
Watch your feeties.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it's weird. Hey friends, we want to talk about some of the subjects that are a little bit heavier on our podcast. Abuse isn't your fault, and there are safe, confidential ways to get help. Domestic violence doesn't always look the same. It isn't just bruises or broken bones. It can be about controlling money, isolating you from your friends, constant surveillance, or threats against your kids and pets. Abuse thrives in silence, and breaking that silence is the first step to safety. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7. Call 1-800-799-SAFE or 7233 or text START to 88788. You can also chat at thehotline.org. Advocates can help safety plan with you even if you're not ready to leave. If you're worried that your device is being monitored, it may be safest to call. Teens and young adults can also contact Love is Respect at 866-331-9474 or text Love Is to 22522. For Native American and Alaska Native survivors, Strong Hearts Native Helpline offers culturally specific 24/7 support at 844-7-NATIVE. If you or someone near you is in immediate danger, please call 911. You deserve safety.
In the fall of 1997, Thomas returned to the United States.
Oh,
Guess who's back?
why would you though? I would never.
There's a reason.
Again, we talked about this off camera,
Mm-hmm.
but if you got away with it, you better that's your one chance.
Yeah.
You escaped the country, stay out.
He was acquitted with a fucking hung jury on murder charges. And then he's going and fucking kidnapping people at gunpoint. And he got free after that.
Luckily,
Had 40 years hanging over his head. You don't come back unless you're absolutely batshit.
my toes would never touch United States soil ever again.
He has businesses in South Africa. Why does he need to come back?
Make a new one. Make a new one. My toes are never touching in the United States again. If that was me.
But he had something he needed to
Desperate. Was he desperate? Sounds like he was desperate.
He has something he needed to take care of.
Was it Anne Marie or whatever her name was? Is that her name?
Anna Marie. Listen to my story, I'm going to tell you.
Oh my God.
Authorities determined that he entered using false identification, and his return initially went undetected. Shocker. By early November, Thomas was back in southern Idaho.
Well, and this is in the fall of 97 too. You would have thought maybe it'd be a decade later.
No, it's like 6 months. Like,
You haven't even tried to establish.
it's like, I got to go back. Idaho's calling him. No, he's a fucking dick.
He's a dipshit.
38-year-old Stephen Louder was living in Jerome County, Idaho. He had grown up in the area, graduated from Valley High School, and worked as a farmer and a truck driver, which is that area. That's what you do. Friends and family described him as easygoing, social, and devoted to his children. He enjoyed hunting, fishing, trap shooting, playing in a pool league, and buying those lottery tickets.
Sounds like a cool guy.
In the fall of 1997, Stephen began living with Anna Marie Thomas in her home
Oh, shit.
in Eden.
This guy's fucking obsessed with her. To the point, oh my gosh, you already got a kidnapping and firearm charge because of this woman. You're coming back to Idaho from South. You were able to escape. And you cannot stay away, bro. Pathetic.
On the morning of Friday, November 14th, 1997, Thomas entered Anna Marie Thomas's home near Eden. Without speaking, he shot Stephen multiple times inside the house. Anna Marie fled the residence and ran down Hunt Road to the nearby home of Thomas's parents to call for help.
Oh my God.
The shooting was reported shortly after 8 a.m. Stephen died at the scene.
Just walked in and shot him up. And I'd be scared to go to the dude's parents' house too. Like,
I think that was their family. Like, I think that it was on purpose that they had the family home and then they had a divorce. I think that Anna Marie was still close with her in-laws, probably the children, all of that stuff. And it's rural. And if they were you're just going to run to your neighbor's house.
The closest
regardless.
one. Yeah.
Regardless.
Or else you're going to be running another fucking, mile? No, you've got to go.
No.
Scary, though. And Anna Marie, already kidnapped and was probably gonna shoot your last boyfriend. This dude's crazy.
And I just feel like it hadn't been that. I mean, it'd been girl, go get your man. Do your thing. But I would be overly cautious.
Well, I would think, why in the fuck would he come back to America? He's hit the lottery. Enjoy your life in South Africa.
But if you've been married to him and you know how psycho he is, you know, if you know,
And there
you
probably had to
know.
be some signs. Like, you can't tell me he didn't try to call or something. Like,
I think he was a little patient, but not much. I don't know. I'd be like, I got you out of jail and you skipped. Because, you know, they get to keep that money. You
Right.
skip. It was her money. I'd be like, anyway.
this is wild.
Jerome County Sheriff Jim Weaver announced Jimmie Vurel Thomas was the prime suspect. Weaver said Thomas was considered armed and dangerous due to his known proficiency with firearms and experience as a big game hunter. This guy in South Africa was legit. Like, he did the big game hunting. So, a warrant was issued charging Thomas with first-degree murder and burglary. According to family members and law enforcement, Stephen had never met Jimmie Thomas and was not familiar with him. In the week before Stephen was killed, friends told investigators that Stephen believed someone had followed him to one of his regular goose hunting spots. The vehicle reportedly left before Stephen could identify it. No police reports were filed at the time.
Just something suspicious.
You're like, oh. You know, it's just weird. Like, you know,
And you probably try to talk yourself out of it. Like,
I'm
oh gosh, just someone
Apparently.
driving on the same road as me. Like, gotta let it.
Anna Marie, did you tell him about your ex-husband? Was this well known? Like, did everybody know that your ex-husband kidnapped your other boyfriend? I kind of feel like that Stephen didn't know that, because I think he would have fit.
Even if he did, I wouldn't think that someone's going to come from South Africa. Because again, why would you ever come back here, you dipshit?
Well, they didn't know he was in South Africa, but he clearly had to go somewhere, and they knew he had ties. I mean,
You think he's hiding out? Why would he come expose himself?
law enforcement agencies launched an extensive search across Jerome County and surrounding rural areas. Deputies followed tips from residents who reported possible sightings of Thomas or vehicles resembling those he was believed to be using. Idaho State Police assisted with patrols, and an aerial search was conducted over Bureau of Land Management, just north of Hunt. Authorities alerted Magic Valley Regional Airport and distributed photographs of Thomas to airline personnel. He's not flying out of He's not
Right.
flying out of Twin Falls.
Too small.
No.
You got to be able to disappear and get in.
Workers were instructed to notify law enforcement if Thomas attempted to board a flight. You're not going far. You're going to Boise, maybe Salt Lake, Twin Falls. Like, you're not getting a direct flight to South Africa.
No. You can't get a direct flight to just about any, unless it's Seattle, Phoenix, Salt Lake.
But that was cute. Weaver said investigators did not know how Thomas was traveling or whether he remained in the area. That would be scary. I'd be fucking so scared. Like, okay, well, I thought he went to South Africa, but then he came back and shot my boyfriend. And now what?
He's willing to risk it all.
As the search continued, residents in Eden reported heightened fear. Neighbors locked doors during the day. Farmers carried firearms while working in the fields. Neighborhood watch members said routines changed as reports of sightings circulated without confirmation. So there was no confirmed sightings, but people thought maybe they saw him, or maybe they saw the matching rented
Everyone's
vehicle.
on high alert.
High alert. And kudos to them for reporting it, because the people who don't report, even though it might be just a hunch,
You got to give people the information.
yep, let them deal. After the November 14th killing of Stephen Lauder, Jerome County investigators believe Thomas fled Idaho almost immediately. Law enforcement agencies in Idaho, Nevada, California, and South Africa were alerted. Twin Falls, I know, it's just so weird to say all of those things.
If you see your boy, could you let us know? Because he's been causing havoc.
Twin Falls County authorities were already seeking Thomas for sentencing on his 1996 kidnapping conviction. And federal authorities were now involved because Thomas had crossed international borders while a fucking fugitive.
Yeah, now you got the big dogs involved, bro.
In April 1998, federal authorities confirmed Thomas had re-entered the United States under a false name, using South African identification. He's back.
Look at that.
According to the FBI, Thomas used at least 2 aliases while traveling, including Patrick Davids and Vincent McDonough. Investigators determined Thomas had also used the identification and credit cards of Willem Widdemakers, a South African big game hunter. Willem's body had been found shot and stuffed inside a freezer on his property near Pretoria, South Africa.
And then he's like, nice identification. I'll take that.
South African authorities issued a murder warrant for Thomas in connection with Willem's death.
So now everyone has a little skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. If you got away with murder once, don't be kidnapping and murdering.
He's just murdering and everywhere he goes.
False sense of confidence. You could have had it made, buddy. You could have had a new life, and they never would have got you.
So let me tell you, Willem befriended Thomas over big game hunting. They were like doing it together. Willem lived on a property that he had inherited from his dad. Like he's out here. He's probably just a super nice guy. Like, and some reading, they said that Willem knew that he was a fugitive from the United States, possibly, and was letting him stay there, kind of hiding out.
Mm-hmm. There wasn't an easy way to find out, though. Like, it's not like he could have looked it up.
No.
He could have had a feeling, but...
Or he just told him.
Right.
Or maybe he just told him about the kidnapping charge and not
or
about
maybe
the
he said it was for something even less,
Yeah.
you know, like, got myself in a little drug business.
Mm. But Willem was found in that freezer. He was shot, found in your own fucking freezer. And
So
he
disrespectful.
was under a bunch of meat. And this was not like they didn't find him right away. No, he hit him. Allegedly hit him. He was under a bunch of meat in a freezer.
So awful.
And he was already split by the time.
Yeah.
And I can't confirm this. I really did try to find articles and stuff. Like there was nothing South African for me on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't find any local stories. But I imagine some ears kind of perked up when he hadn't been seen for a hot minute going to town. I kind of feel like this was like on the outskirts just from my reading.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a little bit where people were like, or possibly the police went over there and dibble-dabbled and perked ears.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we haven't seen Willem in a hot while, and we know he hung out with Willem. I don't know what happened.
For sure.
I wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just tell you, this motherfucker ain't real. His name is so hard because, even in early reports, his name is spelt wrong. Jimmie, it's not Jimmy. It's Jimmie. So there was a lot of misspellings in articles. Also, he was referred to as James. His name is not
that's
James.
not his given name. Yeah.
I really went for it, just so you guys know. There was nothing in South Africa.
She had to be creative.
I literally searched all of those names.
And look what you found.
And look what I got. On April 21st, 1998, after receiving a tip that Thomas was in northern Nevada, FBI agents and members of the Northern Nevada Violent Task Crime Force located him at an RV park in Reno.
I was like, it's gotta be Reno or hot. Like, and I can totally, that's a good place to disappear. And especially if we know that he likes to be flashy, you know, loves a quick come up. Maybe he's a gambling person, getting some quick money.
And Northern Nevada is, even still to this day, very country-ish.
Yes.
So there's lots of farms and stuff out there. So it's like, yeah.
Easy to disappear.
I'm just going to reestablish. I don't know why you came back to the Americas, sir. Oh, wait, because you knew that murder warrant was coming in South Africa.
Find another country. Go somewhere else, bro. Why are you back here?
Thomas had rented a space the night before and was staying in a 27-foot motorhome. He also had a rental car and a dolly attached to the vehicle.
What's the dolly for?
The car.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like a hand dolly.
Yeah. No, fair.
For the car?
They call them car dollies.
But it's the one that puts the tires on so you can haul it.
Right. And then the back tires are on the ground. So it's not a trailer, it's a dolly.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong.
The more you know.
Ding. At approximately 8:15 a.m., officers observed Thomas leave the motorhome and walk into the RV park office. These guys were on him. I don't know what tip, because it was just the day before that they found him. So either Thomas was talking, and I couldn't find this. Somebody was telling something because they were on him. Like, get up, motherfucker. Good morning.
How I'd love if I was able to be like an informant on a murder or something and they were across the street from me. How I would be Mrs. Olsen from Little House on the... I'm watching them.
He just got groceries.
It's now my job. I'm taking the whole week off work.
He just got groceries delivered.
Yeah.
It appears
DoorDash of McDonald's?
It appears that he got some Gatorade and a case of beer and eggs and bread with some other miscellaneous. Can't tell that other stuff, but I can definitely see the beer and Gatorade.
I'm there with binoculars or a scope. It's my job now.
It's full time.
That's my dream job. My dream date.
Cute. I love it. Agents moved in immediately. They're like, yeah, we got you. Thomas was taken to the ground during the arrest, and one FBI agent suffered a minor injury from broken glass because they just fucking got him good.
Oh, they were like, listen up, we're fucking sick of your ass.
Yeah.
Rough you up a bit.
The guy that talked to the newspaper, it was his mom's RV park, and he was help running it, and he just like,
well, shit.
It's like shit was breaking. People were rolling around. He's like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. The dog was barking. Can you imagine? I'd be like, excuse me?
Guys, what's happening?
Yeah. Thomas was not armed at the moment of arrest, but officers later seized multiple firearms from the motorhome.
And is knowing him, no wonder that they took him down like that, because he loves his guns.
Yeah. They're probably like, he hasn't even had a cup of coffee yet. Let's go get him, boys.
Yeah.
Thomas was booked into the Washoe County Jail on a federal charge of unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Because they had him dead to rights on that one.
Oh, yeah.
You've been convicted, bitch.
We just needed to do your sentencing and cross that T and dot that I. And for some reason, we're like, oh, you poor dear. That's one thing that I wonder is, does the attorney not know that he's faking? Or does he know that he's faking? And we're like, Judge, please look at this poor wheelchaired man.
I think based on his behavior, I bet you he really milked it. Like, it was convincing. Because if it wasn't convincing, listen, I think that prosecutor would have brought in like jail staff or somebody else to say, he was just in the exercise yard yesterday playing racquetball. That they played.
He was doing backflips outside.
Yeah. So I really think that he had built this up over the time he was in jail, and he just milked it. And he might have had gout, and he might have had a hernia. Right. Still functional.
He was able to get around the airport and into different countries.
Yeah.
Go buy 6 guns.
Yeah. He was okay. So I don't think his defense attorney was on the slide with that. I really think that he obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, he had some smarts in there somewhere. Albeit,
sounds like he was a manipulator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think he built this up. I mean, and he was in his 50s at this point.
Wow.
And so
grow up. Who has time for this many murders at that age? He did.
The FBI stated Thomas had fled the United States after his 1996 kidnapping conviction and returned before the Louder killing. So that's Stephen. And then fled again after the homicide. Authorities also confirmed Thomas had attempted to bring multiple firearms back into the United States earlier in the year, which were seized by U.S. Customs.
You are just playing with fire, buddy.
Doesn't give a fuck. That's what I see.
Oh my God.
He's gotten away with so much. His give a
He
fuck
thinks that he's that dude, and he was able to. Get away with
that
so
dude.
much.
He just should have not killed Willem and stayed in fucking South Africa.
You had a good thing going, buddy. Dummy.
Following his arrest, Thomas was held without bail. Finally,
Thank you.
in Nevada, while
Let's guys. He's got gal. Give him a chance.
call his ex-wife. While prosecutors began extradition proceedings, Twin Falls County moved first to secure Thomas for sentencing on the kidnapping conviction, followed by Jerome County's first-degree murder warrant on the latter case. So, Twin Falls is like the two different counties.
Give me him.
Yeah. Twin Falls County was like mine 1st. It's already been convicted.
Yeah, we're done here. We just need that final thing.
Then you can have him for whatever. Okay. Let us get, and especially that prosecuting attorney was like, he is seriously a flight risk.
We're getting our pound of flesh.
And they will get it. Jerome County Sheriff's Detective Dan Chatterton traveled to Reno to interview Thomas shortly after his arrest.
Hey, bud.
His Chatterton's like, yeah, I think I'll take that 7-8 hour drive down to Reno.
Been dying to meet you, dude. I've been
Do a
dying.
little gambling, have a little steak buffet, and then I'm going to fucking nail you to the wall.
Get him. They've been itching and waiting.
And then I'm going to gamble a little bit more. Yeah, I better probably bring my wife.
Yeah.
We'll go see a show.
Get some seafood. They've got some great little buffets.
Yeah, let's go get a seafood buffet.
Lobster.
Yeah. It's on the state's dime, by the way.
Yeah.
And then
we're going to fucking get you.
yeah, and then we're just going to nail you to the wall. While jailed in Reno in April 1998, Thomas was questioned by Chatterton and another officer. Okay, maybe he didn't take his wife. They went to strip clubs for sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay, they probably did. And you know
I
what?
don't think they were paying gas for two.
Reno strip club. What a time. You know what? I'm sure it's
Vegas.
It's no Vegas, but I'm sure there's still some very talented ladies out there. And on a guy's business trip, I'm sure it's exactly what they were hoping for.
Because I'm telling you, the state wasn't paying two gas bills to drive down there. They're like, no, you can go together.
Get her done. Yeah.
Wives stay home. Maybe wives are best friend and they all went together. Nah. They're like, hun, this is business. We gotta go.
Very important job, sweetie. I wish it wasn't in Reno. I hate that place.
Cool. I'd rather go to Winnemucca.
I was just thinking, like, how to rate, like, the Nevada gambling cities. Like, of course, Vegas is going to be the number one. But then, like, what? Like, Reno? Is it Winnemucca jackpot? Like, Reno, Winnemucca jackpot, like, in that order of, like, top 5 or whatever?
I don't know. Last time I was in Winnemucca, one of our friends won a lot of money and it was really fun. And I'm sure that I enjoyed it. There was like 4 other people because
Enjoyed when we will make it a good time.
yeah, well, we are
And
the
listen,
party.
sometimes I love, it's like a dive bar. It's like a dive city. Like, listen, Nampa's nothing. It's not like we got real fancy here in Nampa. So we're not above it.
I love me a good dive bar.
And now I kind of want to go to a Winnemucca strip club for research sake.
I
We need
think,
to know.
could that be a business write-off?
Accountants.
Let us know.
Answer. If we wanted to just go to a Reno or Winnemucca strip club for research, is it a tax write-off?
Thank you.
Like Schitt's Creek? It's a write-off. You write it off. Who pays? The government. The government pays for
The government pays for it. Anyways, accountants, email us at
The Lethal Library
at
at
gmail.com.
That was good.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So Chatterton's down there on his little business trip
That's for business, honey.
to interview Thomas. The interview, recorded on videotape, would later become a central piece of evidence in the murder trial for Stephen.
Juicy.
During the interrogation, that's a good word too, by the way, interrogation. Thomas admitted he returned to Idaho from South Africa watched Anna Marie's house near Eden and entered the house on the morning of November 14th, 1997. He described the shooting of Stephen Lauder and acknowledged taking ammunition and the weapon back to South Africa afterward.
You know what? If you're going to dispose of a murder weapon, another country is a great option. If you can get that thing on a plane.
I'll say that later.
Like, sorry, I stole it from you.
Quit stealing my thunder, Steph!
It's because we're on the same wavelength. But like, can't knock that. That was actually a very smart part of your murder.
Not coming back to the United States, but smart taking the guns out.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot. After Jimmie Thomas was returned to Idaho in the spring of 1998, prosecutors in 2 counties moved forward on those parallel tracks.
They're like, we're ready to go.
Let's go. Twin Falls County proceeded first, securing Thomas for sentencing on his 1996 kidnapping conviction involving Michael Phillips. And in May, District Judge Roger Burdick imposed the maximum sentence allowed under the Idaho law.
I bet it was a personal thing because he's the one that said, yeah, sure, go take care of your health.
It's like, for making me look stupid,
yeah,
you get 40 fucking years, fucker.
Yeah.
40
I'm
years.
doing the most I can. And I would too. Ooh, I hate when I go on the line for someone and then I know I shouldn't, but I'm like, give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't.
Trust no one.
And trust your gut. Like,
I do believe, well, look, I'm going to disparage them a little bit here. It's a small county. Yeah. This judge probably didn't deal with murder cases or kidnapping cases.
No, sure. We see that a lot.
And so,
like, how bad could it be? And the prosecutor's like, I guess we're finding out. We're going to find out.
it was just
other people are going to die because of this decision. But sure, let's let him go have a little doctor visit.
He was just a little worked up. He's sick. He was worked up. He just, he really loved his wife and was mad at the boy. I can just see all this reasoning going on. And somebody said, and maybe he had just a little too much to drink that night.
What guy doesn't go after his wife's new boyfriend? I mean,
with a gun.
It could have been us.
Make him write a letter saying you'll never see her again and then want to go to the fucking Oasis. I can see that happening a lot. I'm surprised he bitched out and even called the police about it. Jesus Christ, man up.
Oh, someone kidnapped you.
Why'd
you let him kidnap you?
Pussy.
No, totally. Little boys. Yeah.
I wouldn't have let the fucker in my house. Why didn't you have a gun on your hip when you answered the goddamn door? We wouldn't even be here.
Which I do think that is a good point. Nothing good's happening at 11 p.m. with an unexpected knock on the door.
With a gun.
And if it's not the police to tell you that someone you know's died, then it's not good news.
I want to know where the shades were. Why was there no peeking?
You didn't have one little peep and see?
We're not victim blaming here. We're just saying, look,
knowing what we know, this is exactly where our minds go. And maybe because men don't face these threats, they're like,
I absolutely think that.
So I totally now
the guy's like, what the fuck you want?
Oh shit! If someone's coming to my door, they must have good intentions at this time of night.
Or if they're coming to my door, fuck around and find out. What do you want? Maybe he had animals. Look, when I lived out in the country, I did get some knocks on my door at fucking weird hours because
from Ricky.
My cows were out. My pigs were out. My dogs were out. Guess what? I want to get up before they get hit by a car. So maybe it was, we could hop off.
You think that it's someone with good intent.
Right.
Surely someone needs to tell me something very important. I get it. Yeah. I just think as women, we are...
No, we're not answering the door. Ladies, do not answer the door.
I don't think really any, because we live life differently. We have a completely different life experience that most of us have had at least 10 weird experiences where we'd be like,
I should have died.
And this, so you're over vigilant. So yeah, sorry, off on a tangent.
Thomas was then transferred to Jerome County custody to face the charges stemming from the killing of Stephen.
Yeah, they're like, we're next.
Thank you. You already got 40 years, fucker. Let's go. Jerome County prosecutor John Loshbeek filed charges of first-degree murder and burglary, alleging Thomas deliberately entered the Eden area home of his ex-wife, Anna Marie Thomas, armed with a handgun with the intent to kill. Prosecutors asserted the killing was premeditated, pointing to the evidence that Thomas had returned from South Africa, rented vehicles under false names, and conducted surveillance of the Hunt property before the shooting.
Absolutely wild.
Oh, shocker. Thomas was held without bond.
Learned the lesson on this one? Yeah.
The state's case centered on the testimony of Anna Marie Thomas, physical and forensic evidence recovered from the scene, the videotaped confession Thomas gave while jailed in Reno, and evidence of Thomas's prior acts of violence towards men involved with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Obsessed much?
There's a pattern here. Yeah.
Prosecutors made clear they intended to seek the death penalty.
Oh, shit. Now you fucked up.
Pretty much. Alleging aggravating factors including utter disregard for human life and a continuing pattern of violent behavior.
Agreed. Yeah.
During pretrial motions, defense attorneys Lynn Dunlap and Marilyn Paul tried to suppress Thomas's confession, arguing it was coerced through psychological pressure and manipulation during a lengthy interrogation.
That is literally their job.
They also attempted to limit references to Thomas's kidnapping conviction and his alleged involvement in other violent acts, including the South African homicide, which he had a warrant for but wasn't convicted. So I get why they want to keep that out because it's not a for sure thing. 5th District Judge Monty Carlson ruled the confession admissible and allowed limited discussion of Thomas's prior convictions while excluding evidence related to uncharged crimes, which would be the South African for Willem. Because of extensive local publicity, Thomas's prior kidnapping conviction and fears about juror safety.
Damn.
Yeah, this guy's fucking nuts. Defense attorneys successfully moved for a change of venue, and the trial was transferred to Ada County.
Not surprising.
No, Jerome County's tiny, and
Yeah. They need a bigger pool.
the trial formally opened in mid-April 1999. Prosecutors told jurors that on the morning of November 14th, 1997, Thomas entered the Hunt Road home shortly after 7:50 a.m. Without warning, he confronted Stephen Louder and fired multiple shots. Anna Marie, prosecutor said, fled the home screaming and ran toward her in-laws' residence, hearing gunshots as she escaped. So, just to go into a little bit more detail, she opened the door, and it was Thomas. And he saw Stephen, and Stephen had only moved in like a week before.
Oh, shit.
Barely brand new. He probably didn't even have all of his shit there, honestly. And he saw him in the background and just bum rushed her. And just...
It was over.
And she probably knew him better than anybody.
Well, yeah, this has already
And
happened
she was...
before.
Listen, she ran to her in-laws in just a towel, like she'd just gotten out of the shower. Her hair was wet. It's cold. And she's just running. How scary.
That's insane.
Stephen was struck multiple times, including fatal wounds to the chest and head. Anna Marie testified early in the trial. She told jurors Thomas pushed his way into the house that morning. She thought maybe he was there to retrieve some personal belongings that he had left.
Okay.
Not okay, still. She described seeing Thomas armed with a handgun, and she said she ran when the confrontation began. Her testimony placed Thomas at the scene with a weapon moments before the shooting, because she ran, so she wasn't an eyewitness to the shooting.
Yeah.
And prosecutors repeatedly emphasized that she had no motive to fabricate her account. So, like, she has no reason to lie. The state also presented forensic testimony from medical examiner Dr. Todd Cameron Gray, who described Stephen's injury in detail. Stephen had been shot in the arm, chest, abdomen, and head.
All over.
One bullet severed his aorta, which Gray testified would have caused death within minutes. Another shot to the forehead appeared to have been fired while Stephen was either on or near the floor, based on the trajectory of the exit wound.
Shit.
So, that being said, it was overkill.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they were trying to prove there. Investigators testified about physical evidence recovered days later, including a .38 caliber shell casing found in the driveway bearing a head stamp from the Pretoria Metal Press, a South African manufacturer. Jerome County Sheriff's Lieutenant Dan Chatterton testified this unusual marking helped link the ammunition to Thomas's travels and firearm access overseas. Additional testimony addressed the absence of certain items, including a bloody bra and a phone that were photographed but never logged into evidence. Points the defense would later bring up, and this just kind of reminded me, I re-listen to this every once in a while, the O.J. Simpson case, where it's just doubt about how they've conducted the investigation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his defense attorney is trying.
They're going to latch on to anything they can.
Central to the prosecution's case was the videotaped confession recorded in Reno. Jurors watched several hours of footage in which Thomas described returning to Idaho from South Africa, staking out the Hunt Road home, entering the house, and firing the gun during a confrontation with Stephen. Thomas told officers the gun discharged while he was holding it and said the rest of the incident felt like, quote, a blur. He admitted taking the weapon back to South Africa because he believed it would be safer than disposing of it in the United States.
Which is true.
And those guns were worth a lot more money.
Oh, yeah.
Over there. Due to those embargoes. But the defense attorneys attacked the confession as unreliable, pointing to the inconsistencies between Thomas's statements and the physical evidence. Thomas said he remembered firing only 2 shots, while 5 bullets were recovered. Because he was in a blind rage. Thomas described a struggle, but investigators found little evidence of one. Dunlap argued Thomas was motivated by fear for his daughter and confessed to spare his family from further trauma.
That's a stretch.
Over the course of 2 weeks, jurors heard testimony from law enforcement officers, forensic experts, and civilian witnesses who placed Thomas in Idaho at the time of the killing. Rental records, witness identifications, and surveillance evidence were introduced to establish Thomas's movements before and after the shooting. This is more than circumstantial, bitch. By the time the state rested its case, prosecutors argued that they had shown a deliberate, methodical killing rooted in long-standing resentment and escalating violence. He didn't want his ex to be with anybody.
No, it's one of those ones where it's like, if you're not going to be with me, you're not going to be with anyone.
The defense, they said, had offered speculation but no credible alternative explanation for Stephen's death.
Sure.
How did he die?
Yeah. And I know that she wasn't there to witness it, but you run out of a house in the town and you hear a bunch of shots and someone got shot. I wonder what happened. Like,
the math is mathy.
Yeah.
When the defense began its presentation, attorneys Lynn Dunlap and Marilyn Paul made clear that they were not attempting to present a single alternative narrative to what happened inside that home. Instead, their strategy was to methodically challenge the reliability of the state's evidence, point by point, and to argue that the prosecution had built its case on assumptions, omissions, and an emotionally charged confession rather than indisputable proof.
All right, let's
Isn't this
see.
so
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and so many, when I listen to other podcasts and stuff, and you hear these defense attorneys, and it's like, I don't know if I could do that for the rest of my life. Hold that they're definitely innocent. Like, you got to do your job to prevent a retrial or an appeal. But some of, like, I don't know if I could be a defense attorney because it seems like you have to just stick by that line for the rest of your life.
I think it would wear on you.
It would. I couldn't do it. I could not do what. I'd be like, yeah.
Like that attorney letting him get out on his hernia and gout. and then a man dies. I mean, because Michael Phillips could have died that night, and I do believe he had a very, very high chance.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like, no, they're neglecting his medical needs. And then in hindsight, you're living with he killed 2 other people after that.
Yeah. I know
Well,
they have to have a good defense, but it's just like, what the fuck?
One, allegedly. The defense opened by returning jurors to the videotaped interrogation conducted in Reno, nearly 5 months after Stephen Lauder was killed. Jerome County Sheriff's Lieutenant Chatterton was recalled to the stand and questioned at length for 3 consecutive days.
Shit.
Dunlap focused on the structure, tone, and progression of the 4.5-hour interview, directing jurors' attention away from the final moments of the confession and towards the first several hours of questioning. He's trying to build something here. Dunlap argued that from the outset, investigators leveraged Thomas's known emotional vulnerability, particularly to his relationship with his 8-year-old daughter. This is how they did that. It's coming.
Okay.
Through careful questioning, Dunlap highlighted repeated references by Chatterton to the potential consequences for Thomas's family if the case proceeded to trial. Chatterton acknowledged that he spoke frequently about Thomas's daughter and Thomas's parents and about the possibility that family members could be forced to testify. Which
It's a real possibility.
And that's a good interrogation tactic. When Dunlap asked whether those statements could reasonably be interpreted as implying that a confession might reduce the severity of the charges, Chatterton responded that such an inference could be drawn, but insisted his intent was to reduce resistance and encourage Thomas to tell the truth.
I think that's a moot point because they can lie to you.
They can
legally.
Absolutely.
So you could say, if you confess, you won't get any time. Did you know that? Didn't you know? They can literally just lie to you about anything.
They can.
Say, oh, well, your wife actually said that you did this and said that she saw you.
And I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. And in some states, you cannot if the person they're interviewing is under 18. There's some states that that is a thing where you can't, because that has come up with a lot of false confessions. Because as a child,
I'm throwing back to that Stephen Avery case. Yeah. What was his name? Brendan.
I don't know. I'm not good at that.
It was his nephew, Brendan.
But yeah, so there are some states
he
that
should not
say
have
that-
been interviewed. He should not be in jail. I don't think. There's not enough evidence there for me. Personal opinion.
Anyway,
I'm going to chalk it up.
yeah.
The defense also pressed inconsistencies between Thomas's statements and the physical evidence. Thomas described using a .357 caliber handgun, while the recovered slugs were .38 caliber. Chatterton explained that a .357 Magnum is capable of firing .38 caliber ammunition. But Dunlap emphasized that Thomas's confusion about such details suggested was unreliable rather than a truthful admission.
I
Now,
don't think that has a lot of weight.
Thomas also described a physical struggle, but the investigators found no clear signs of a fight inside the home. Who cares? Stephen didn't have a gun. So this was the big thing. Thomas said that they had struggled in the dining room and they didn't find any evidence of a struggle in the dining room. So that's what he's saying.
He could have said that to try to cover his own ass.
Yeah.
Of like, I was just there to pick up my stuff.
And then he fucking jumped me and I had to shoot him.
Yeah.
Fucking a gazillion times.
No shit.
Dunlap then turned to the evidence that was photographed but never collected. Jurors were shown crime scene photographs depicting a bloody bra and a blood-spattered telephone. Officers testified they could not recall how the bra came to be in the blood pool near Stephen's body and suggested it may have been dragged during removal of the body. It could have, it was in the bedroom. The defense argued that the failure to preserve those items deprived the jury of potentially critical information about the movements of the people inside the house during and after the shooting. You are no Johnny Cochran, bro.
This is a stretch.
Yeah. The defense also challenged the state's timeline and reconstruction of Stephen's final moments. Dunlap questioned investigators about the distance between where Thomas said the first shot was fired and where Stephen's body was ultimately found. Thomas had told officers the initial shot occurred near the dining room table, while Stephen's body was located approximately 12 feet away in a bedroom. Prosecutors argued Stephen attempted to flee, but Dunlap suggested the physical evidence did not conclusively support that. So he's saying, no, he was ready. They were in a fight. Let's fight.
Okay.
As the defense case continued, jurors heard testimony intended to humanize Thomas and counter what Dunlap described as a bad guy image showed by the prosecution. Dude, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, good luck.
Friends, neighbors, and acquaintances testified. They're down to acquaintances. You know, it's pretty bad when you're down to acquaintances. Yeah. Testified about Thomas's close relationship with his daughter, describing the two riding four-wheelers together, working on the farm, and spending time outdoors. Several witnesses recalled Thomas decorating extensively for Christmas because she loved the lights, and they said they frequently saw the child with her father. The Christmas light thing was kind of cute because
that, yeah.
Somebody had a big Christmas showing, out in front of their house, and he was like, I'm gonna outdo those guys for his daughter. So sweet, but you're still a murderer.
Yeah, you can like the holidays and still murder people,
apparently. The defense then introduced expert testimony addressing the psychology of the interrogation. Here we go. Twin Falls psychiatrist. I shouldn't laugh. I'm just thinking these are not big city. It's just such a small city.
Right.
Okay. Twin Falls psychiatrist Dr. Richard Wurst testified that Thomas did not suffer from any diagnosable psychological or personality disorder. However, Wurst told jurors that Thomas exhibited a pronounced fear of emotional harm to his daughter. They're just all about, his daughter, and a strong protective instinct towards his family. Under certain circumstances, Wurst said those traits could make a person susceptible to falsely confessing if they believed doing so would shield loved ones.
This guy was no dummy. As far as he was dumb to let his impulses take over, but I mean, he was able to get like these rental cars and obtain other people's identities. Like, he wasn't an incompetent person.
Yeah. Wurst testified that repeatedly invoking Thomas's daughter's potential involvement in court proceedings could function as psychological leverage.
That's what it's meant to be, yeah.
He told jurors that he could not say whether Thomas was telling the truth or lying during his confession.
Anyway,
Another expert witness, Portland forensic scientist Raymond Grimsboe, testified about gunshot residue testing conducted on Stephen Louder's hands. Grimsboe explained that when a firearm is discharged, microscopic particles are expelled in a cloud that can settle on the shooter's hands. We all know this. If you watched a Dateline, he testified that testing revealed a relatively high number of particles on Stephen's right hand. So he's indicating, and I might have wrote this down, he's indicating that what the defense is trying to do is say he shot a gun. They're trying to do a little self-defense, okay. I mean, the stretch is stretching.
Very much so.
While prosecution argued that the residue could have been transferred when Stephen raised his arms defensively, Griswold told jurors it was more consistent with Stephen having fired a weapon himself shortly before his death. So prosecution is saying he got gunshot residue from holding up his hands. Defense is saying
he shot him. Wow.
Under cross-examination, prosecutor John Lashbeck.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you.
That's a crazy one.
Emphasized that no firearm was ever found on or near Stephen.
Which he wouldn't have been able to hide it because he was dead and his girlfriend was gone.
And that residue alone could not establish that Stephen had fired a gun.
What a weird defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dunlap repeatedly argued to what he described as investigative gaps. That's his whole defense here.
And oftentimes that's a thing.
And it can work. He questioned why certain items were not collected, why some evidence appeared late, and why the state's theory required jurors to accept Thomas's confession as both unreliable when inconvenient and accurate when supportive of the prosecution's narrative.
Okay. Sure.
Dunlap is doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's defensing. By the time the defense rested, Dunlap told jurors he was not asking them to determine exactly what happened inside the home that morning. He argued that the law required only that the state eliminate reasonable doubt and that unresolved inconsistencies, missing evidence, and a contested confession prevented the standard from being met.
And sometimes that works where you have a holdout on the jury that's like,
Meow,
but can you prove that the guy that got killed didn't shoot?
Where's the video? Where's the body
If I
cam?
don't have a video of it, then I can't just use my brain cells.
And here we go with a ton of witnesses. Closing arguments began on April 23rd, 1999. After nearly 2 weeks of testimony, more than 140 witnesses
Damn.
and hundreds of exhibits presented to the Ada County jury. Prosecutor John Loshpick, God, I'm going to fuck that up. I just framed the case as a methodical act of violence carried out by a man with a documented history of threatening and attacking men involved with his ex-wife. Let it go, bro. He argued that Stephen Lauder never had a chance to defend himself. He told jurors that the physical evidence supported a sequence in which Stephen attempted to escape after the initial shots were fired.
Yeah.
It just sucked he ended up in a fucking bedroom. He argued that this is not a struggle, not an accident, and not a moment of confusion, but an execution carried out at close range.
And he was staking this place out. Hello?
Yeah. If he was just going to get a shit,
No.
and then to say that in the confession, like, if he was trying to protect his daughter and his family, he didn't have to say, well, I went and watched him for a little bit. He can just think, yeah, I shot him.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I went there just to think I could pick up my shit and
And that guy was there and he said some mean words to me and then boom. But that's not what he did. He's like, no, I went and watched and I saw a man there and I didn't like it.
And we know that he's done this before.
And the reason the timing was in the morning, he wanted his daughter gone. Like, there is some thought processes there. His daughter is already at school that morning. The prosecutor returned repeatedly to the testimony of Anna Marie, reminding jurors that she placed Thomas at the scene, saw him enter the home, heard the gunshots, as she ran barefoot to Thomas's parents' house to call 911. Oshpeck acknowledged that the defense had attacked her credibility, which I don't know. There was nothing of that in the newspaper exactly, like what her credibility issues were. Wish I knew. But argued that her statements were consistent with the physical evidence with Thomas's own recorded confession. Yeah. Same. Addressing the defense claim of a coerced confession, Loshbeck told jurors that Thomas was not confused, impaired, or manipulated into inventing details investigators did not already know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Defense attorney Lynn Dunlap followed by systematically revisiting each weakness he believed the prosecution failed to resolve. So he's saying that there was no murder weapon was ever found. The evidence that was photographed was never collected. And that investigators could not conclusively reconstruct Stephen's movements inside the house.
Well, and they didn't fuck up on anything that was really consequential. Like the bra, sure. They should have. But there's nothing about it that could be like, because we've seen cases where someone mishandles a very important piece of evidence. Like, oh, we didn't test their hands for gunshot residue. Nobody's. Well, that's kind of a big fucking deal. And that would have helped a lot. A bloody bra, like, people have laundry on the floor. Someone's like, this was not collected and tagged. It had nothing to do with the crime.
No.
So, yeah.
And to reconstruct a quick, I mean, this, I don't imagine this was a long, drawn out thing from my reading. He came in, he pushed back past his ex-wife and was like, gonna fucking
I'm shooting you.
Yeah, he's gunning this guy down. So a struggle in the was a struggle, maybe Stephen trying to get around a dining room chair? What? I mean, and you don't know what that, maybe there was a ton of shit on the floor.
Why does it matter if they even struggled? Like, even if, supposedly, if we're going on the line of the dude shot first that lives there, and if someone comes into your house and is a threat to your life actively, you can shoot them. And, like,
Dunlap is defense, and I will say he's trying.
He's doing, and that is what I think that also needs to be said about defense attorneys is they have sometimes next to nothing, and as in this case, where you're like, and if you don't,
where's the bloody bra?
If you don't grasp at those straws, then that's going to come up on appeal, or retrial.
I will give him kudos for that. I mean, like you said, defense attorneys, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But he has to try his best. And you know what? If they don't, we're going to get appeals. Like, well, inadequate counsel. Yeah, because he didn't talk about the bloody bra or the phone that was never brought into evidence.
Which doesn't fucking make a difference. But
maybe Dunlap did the good thing because it was sealed tight.
Yeah.
He's like, I brought up this and this and this and this. Like, he's
doing his thing. Sure. Frustrating though, and honestly, that's humiliating to me to be like, what about this bra when everyone knows the bra doesn't.
I have tossed my bra on the floor
and you're dying on the hill of the bra when it's like he walked in, she heard the shots and ran away. The man was shot. Who else would have done it? So another intruder came in and was like,
it was the dog. Definitely the dog.
I'm so glad someone else came in here because now I get to frame them because I've been wanting to shoot this dude
in a rural farm property.
No, I couldn't do it. But props to those that.
This is his big final
closing. Yeah.
Dunlap told jurors that they were not being asked whether Thomas was capable of violence, but whether the state had proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he murdered Stephen Louder in the manner alleged.
Well, and some people do take that reasonable doubt so much to heart where they're, again, like we've said, if there's not a fucking video of it, how do we actually know? Anything could happen. When it's like, yeah, let's use a little discernment here.
Yeah, just a smidge. After final instructions from District Judge Monty Carlson.
That's a very cool name.
The jury began deliberations late on April 23rd. Idaho law requires that juries be sequestered because the charge was first-degree murder. Jurors were escorted to a hotel and deliberated for more than 5 hours. You mean as little as 5 hours before returning a verdict.
Yeah.
As little as 5 hours. When the jury re-entered the courtroom, family members of Stephen Louder filled the benches behind the prosecution table. The jury found Jimmie Vurel Thomas guilty of first-degree murder. The jurors concluded Thomas entered the road home, pushed past his ex-wife, fired 5 shots from that .357, and killed Stephen as he attempted to flee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'd be so pissed. Like, I just think about my house and, like, if somebody was, like, I opened the front door and I was scared where I would go. I have an immediate back door.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would go. But not all houses are worked out that way.
Right.
And you got to make some twists and turns.
Scary stuff.
And you just can't. Yeah. Poor Stephen. This is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
And just being waking up, I'm not ready for that.
No. As the verdict was read aloud, Stephen's nephew, David, clenched his fist before lowering his head and embracing family members seated around him. Thomas stood with his hands handcuffed behind his back. His parents sat nearby, his father placing an arm around his mother as she watched their son. Oh, I feel so bad for family members of assholes.
What a terrible position to be put into.
Thomas was expressionless until he turned towards his parents and told them it was all right and they should take care of each other. Those poor fucking parents, you know? I bet you they were good people, didn't raise an asshole. They just fucking ended up with one.
Right. And then they're lucky enough that they still get to see the grandkid and that she lives nearby and hasn't taken out her rightful resentment of this weird ass motherfucker on them. And here they are.
Thomas did cry when his daughter was mentioned. And I do believe he did have
Love for her.
Yeah. But I can't go around murdering about it. You can't.
Crazy way of showing it. And we're on international crime sprees now. That's not helping her.
District Judge Monty Carlson had to determine whether Thomas would spend the rest of his life in prison or be sentenced to death. Because the death penalty is on the table.
It's on the table.
Under Idaho law, Carlson was required to weigh the aggravating and mitigating factors. And the defense filed motions for a new trial, all of which were denied. Defense be defense.
Going through the motions, yeah.
During the sentencing hearing, members of Stephen's family addressed the court, describing the loss they had lived with since 1997. Stephen's oldest daughter, Jennifer, spoke about the impact of her father's death. Oh, I love this part. Telling the court that she had lived with recurring nightmares since learning he had been shot. That's not my favorite part. This is my favorite part. She asked the judge to treat Thomas as Thomas had treated her father, telling Carlson that Stephen had been shown no mercy.
Yeah. And I think it's very poignant to have the daughter of the victim do that because, like you said, he did care for his own daughter, the murderer.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, no matter how much you care, look what you've done to another person's daughter.
And then, you want me to read you a little thing?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let me find it. So, his daughter wrote a letter to the newspaper.
Who's the murderer's? Thomas's daughter?
No, Stephen's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, we have made fun of a lot of things in this episode with regards to, you know, what an idiot the murderer was.
Yeah.
But this just kind of made me sad.
Oh, I can tell.
In December 28th, 1998, the letter written by his daughter, Jamie, and she lived in Texas, but she wrote to the paper here in Idaho, the Times News. Quote, I am the 14-year-old daughter of former Eden resident Stephen M. Lauder. My dad was shot and killed on November 14th, 1997, and Jimmie Thomas has been charged with his murder. I'm having problems understanding the way our judicial system is handling this case. I feel that this man should not deserve to have a fair trial. This crime took away the most valuable and important things in our lives. This attorney wants to have Thomas evaluated. Why? Why do we as taxpayers have to pay for him to live in prison when my dad was the victim? When you murder somebody and you take that person away from the ones who love them for no reason, you deserve not to have anything fair. I myself am puzzled about why, for any reason, someone would kill my dad. My dad was an honest, hardworking man in his life. He never hurt or did anything to anybody. I hope that whoever reads this will understand what has been done to the Lauder family and the residents of Eden and Hazleton, Idaho. Will understand what I'm trying to say. I would also like to let Jimmie Thomas know that my dad's death has changed my life dramatically, and ask him how his daughter would feel if some strange man walked into his house and shot and killed her dad for no reason.
Oh, good for her.
How would she feel if the only way to see her dad was to look at a picture and the only way to be close to him was to go sit by his headstone and talk to him like he was sitting there with her? How would she feel?
That is very, for a 14-year-old to write that. And she's got great points. I mean, I think that we understand the judicial system fairly well, maybe better than the average bear, but it still doesn't make it feel good. We know
and
why.
especially, that just takes me back to being 14, and you have all of those emotions.
And she said it so well for being a 14-year-old.
On point, that girl. I mean, and you just go back to thinking how, like, no, you don't get fair shit
like that.
Like, I'm 14. Shit ain't fair to me. This guy's a horrible
And
person.
having to listen to like the defense stuff where you're like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, this bloody brawl that has nothing to do. And they're like hounding on it. Like, you cannot find him guilty because there was this completely irrelevant piece of evidence that wasn't logged. That, what would it have proven? Tell me what it would have proven. What would it have proven? Nothing. They're just, and listen, sometimes you have a case with that. And sometimes you can bring up good points, but no. And the intelligence to be like, so you love your daughter, right? Seems like people can agree on that.
Yeah. My dad loved me too.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, good job, girl. Wow.
Yeah, it was very
Impactful.
Yeah.
Very impactful.
I love how sweet it was. She's like, taxpayers' dollars.
I'm not even paying taxes yet, but should we pay for this? Who is this?
Ladies and gentlemen.
What about his gout? Let's let him out again. Why don't we just do that?
Oh, that poor girl.
Good job, girl.
And at such a time in her life where, I mean, we all know how the teenagers go, to have this traumatic experience.
No, there's no way AI helped with that. Wow.
No, she wrote that.
Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
poor baby.
I'm sorry for her.
Yeah.
But
And his family.
And I think it's important for like jurors and judges to see that, and for the fucking criminal, because it seems like this guy was probably like a little narcissistic, like doesn't think of others, and really did value
his baby girl's super important.
And he's probably never even thought other girls also have dads that they love, including the dude that I killed. Oh shit.
I still don't think give a fuck.
But
Probably good for you,
not.
girl.
But she said
that took a lot of guts
it was
to
important
write
to
a
say
letter to the editor to be put in the paper. Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you that takes a
I
lot.
hope she's doing good.
Me too. So, of course, that defense attorney, Lynn Dunlap. I shouldn't say that fucking. I wanted to say that fucking attorney. Look, he's doing his job.
He's doing
his
he
job.
has to, or else there's problems.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. So he argued for the life sentence without parole. He told the court that while the jury had returned a guilty verdict, the crime did not rise to the level required for execution under Idaho. Yeah, it did. It did. Dunlap compared the case to other first-degree murder convictions that had resulted in life sentences, arguing that the death penalty was reserved for the worst of the worst, and this case did not meet that standard. Bro.
How hard is that to say from this girl? Yeah, sure.
Did you say that with a straight face?
We give, but does he deserve to die? And she's like, no, he needs to die. Like,
it's reserved for the worst of the worst. Sir, he's been killing people since 1977.
Yeah.
He shot his quote unquote friend Willem and stuffed him in a fucking freezer. Are you fucking anyway?
And assumed his identity. I think that is like more insult to injury. Someone's like, no, I'm you. After they killed you? Ugh, it's fucking weird.
Dunlap emphasized that Thomas would never be released from prison and that a life sentence would adequately protect the public. It's not about adequately protecting at this point. It's eye for an eye at this point. So on August 19th, 1999, Judge Carlson issued his sentencing decision. He ruled that although the murder was not unusually atrocious or cruel under the statute, right?
Sure.
Thomas had demonstrated an utter disregard for human life and a pattern of violent conduct, lots of violent conduct. That's my say. That posed a continuing threat. Carlson said Thomas had hunted Stephen Lauder in the same way a big game hunter tracks prey.
Love that he tied that in.
Based on those findings, Carlson sentenced Thomas to death. The ruling ended nearly 2 years of uncertainty for Stephen's family. I can't imagine having some killer running around. Relatives cried and embraced each other as the sentence was read. Carlson ordered Thomas transferred to death row at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. Thomas showed little outward emotion as the sentence was imposed. He didn't. And of course, we're going to appeals. And they also appealed after that was done and while he's doing his other appeals, they also were trying to appeal the earlier kidnapping conviction.
Give it up.
And the maximum 40-year sentence imposed for abducting Michael Phillips in 1996. The appellate court rejected arguments that Thomas had been denied a fair trial and ruled that the sentencing judge had acted within his discretion, citing Thomas's criminal history. Because they were saying 40 years is too long. That was their whole thing. Like,
That's what you can get.
Guess what?
And
fuck around and find out. When it says this is the maximum sentence,
you embarrassed the judge. And I know that that's not part of the thing, but it's like, if you can get a certain amount of years, maximum, and you embarrass the judge, and now this is a mark on them of bad judgment, their job is to be a good judge.
I should have followed up on that judge.
They're gonna.
I'm just curious.
And you got to go and live your life and murder other people. They know the consequences now. Like, I know that they probably shouldn't be including that, but it's like,
oh, here we go. In September of 2003, the Idaho Supreme Court overturned multiple death sentences statewide after ruling that sentencing procedures violated constitutional requirements.
Because we done fucked up.
It has to be a jury, not a judge. We went over this several times.
Idaho was it was the Wild Wild West and can't be doing that.
So Thomas's death sentence was vacated as part of that decision, and his case was returned to the district court for resentencing. Thomas remained incarcerated and continued to face the possibility of life imprisonment without parole. But he for sure had that 40 years on him.
It's done.
But before any resentencing could take place, Thomas died in custody. On April 14th, 2005, correctional officers found Thomas seated on the floor of his cell at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution, complaining of chest pain during routine count time. He was taken to the prison's medical unit, where staff called 911. Thomas suffered a second heart attack while being transported to the hospital and was pronounced dead later that afternoon. He was 61 years old. And the Ada County Coroner's Office determined he died of natural causes.
Damn. Ended that story.
Boom. Mic drop. He didn't serve long enough time in prison.
But the taxpayers got a break.
Yeah.
What a story. I cannot believe this hasn't been on Dateline. Someone from little old Idaho who did a murder in California and then...
I'm not saying it hasn't, but I typically those kind of things come up when I'm searching.
People from Idaho, I mean, we have big game hunters, sure, but especially back then, to like have connections to South Africa.
I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, this is wild.
The twists and turns in this really was like, I was like, what the fuck? What? Wait, huh? And then he's killing people in South. I was like, what is going on?
You can't stop. Like, you could have lived, you got away with it twice. You escaped on sentencing. You came back and fucked up. No one back. Like,
and this all started.
No one to hold him. No one to fold him.
This all started with Stephen's death. That's where my research started. I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? He killed this guy. Okay. And I'm looking at it and it's like, and then this.
He had that previous one.
And then I'm like, he kidnapped.
He definitely killed that other guy too.
Oh, George, for sure.
The convenient deposit of $7,000.
That just nailed it for me.
Yeah.
You know, I think nowadays he probably would have been done.
Yeah.
But I do think that This is one thing I will say about the death penalty is I think it makes some people are against it.
And
it
that
makes
affects their decision on the
Yeah.
jury.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take that from you, but I just could tell we were right on
Yeah.
the same page. with
No,
that.
and then they're like, well, I don't want my testimony to make somebody die.
And
Very simply put.
and then those questions of doubt that the defense has put up that don't even make any sense, but they're like, if you didn't have an actual videotape, how could you know? An alien could have came down and shot this guy in the head. We don't know. And so then you're like, I'm about to kill someone.
And then do you really trust your memory? Because ask me what I ate last Saturday for dinner. Couldn't tell you.
Could not tell you.
But you want me to tell you what this guy said or did or what? And then you have to doubt yourself when you're thinking about somebody possibly being put to death for it.
Because
So-
we know our own fault in our memory and our decisions. And so then we're like, this is a decision. I think it's because people know the weight of it, which is good. I'm glad people think of that. But
they're not willy-nilly just being like the guy, like they can't see. And there's a case where
Yeah.
some woman didn't have glasses or something. And she like Nate pointed out somebody on it. And it's like, you can't even see. So,
and some of those, it's like, you trust yourself, but that will make you not trust yourself.
oh, hell
Even
yes.
when you know and second guess yourself. And no, that death penalty, I'm glad you pointed that out.
Because that would make me think really, really hard if I'm absolutely sure XYZ happened.
And how absolutely sure can anyone be about anything when that much is on the
Our
line?
mind is very fucking deceiving.
Yes. Yes.
You can think of a memory and
Remember it completely differently.
yeah. So
Anyway, great one, Danny. This is going to be a good one.
thank you, ma'am.
I always know when Danny has a lot of fun researching it because all of our cases are interesting. But when she's like extra locked in, I know it's going to be a crazy story.
I just really appreciate when I'm thinking I'm researching one thing and it goes way left, then way right. And then you're like, what the fuck is happening? So some of my favorites are that way because it is down and dirty, just digging in. I'm like reading newspaper articles this was fucking 25 years worth of newspaper
Yeah.
articles where I'm researching. And fuck you, Jimmie, for having a stupid name. You should have been just named. Anyways.
Is it Jimmie? Is it James? Is it Y? Is it IE? No one knows. And the journalists, you can't just assume someone's a James.
No. Not only let me just tell you, there was a most wanted put it out by the Twin Falls.
God.
It's a most wanted kind of like picture in the newspaper. It's just a little like 2x3 thing. And it says looking for, and it said James V. Thomas. They didn't even get it right. So good thing I'm Googling James too. Anyway. That's all I got, kids. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a good one, Danny. Reach out to us if you'd like. TheLethalLibrary@gmail.com.
Check out our TikToks.
We're back on the Chicky Talk.
We dedicated some time
We had fun.
and we got some TikToks. And so we should have more coming out this week.
And again, we got to... People who do TikTok as a job, holy shit.
We had to take like a whole evening to record a handful.
And
because
have the plans. And listen, could some of them have had a better take? Yeah. But after you've done it 3 times, you're like,
that's good enough.
I'm going to do it. But they do it perfect. And so I'm just wondering like how many takes people are doing. So props to you.
We're
TikTokers.
storytellers, not TikTokers. But it's fun. We have
It
fun.
is fun. And we love the silliness of it. So check us out.
Tell your friends about our podcast, please.
Yeah, word of mouth. And, if you want to chitty chat, email us. If you've got suggestions.
For a case, absolutely. I'm down to research. That's my jam.
She's very good at it, guys. It's literally her superpower. So, thank you again for listening. Maybe in the future, you'll be watching. We've had some feedback that people would like to have it on YouTube. Not really our jam, but we could do it. So,
If you want to watch us, girls,
how badly does everyone want to have it on YouTube?
I've heard a lot.
I've heard several people, which is It's just not how I listen to podcasts.
It's
I'm
not me
watching.
either, but you know what people say, like, can I find it on? Oh yeah, I have a podcast, like,
And it's available. We have it on like 20 different apps.
and I'm like, oh, it's everywhere. I do say that, and they're like, is it on YouTube? No.
So,
But if you
anyway,
want to see us,
let us know.
me messing with my glasses
I
and
might pick my nose. I mean, I don't
drinking
know.
vodka cocktails.
I'm not video editing this shit, you guys.
No, you're gonna get what you get, and
You won't throw fit. So if you want to see,
we got it.
let us know if it's been a dream of yours to see us on YouTube.
I don't know if it's a dream,
Just
but it might be a reality.
Just to help push me to doing it, because I don't love it, but I love you guys. Yeah. So
we love our listeners.
Let us know. Anyway, this podcast brought to you by
the garage
door. Thank you. 10-4 rubber ducky.
Fuck yeah.
I don't even have to edit that in here.
Jesus.
The timing of that was amazing.